So in the news recently, we've been hearing quite a bit about your favorite developer, EA, Electronic Arts.
Do you think that's anyone's favorite developer?
I think it's everyone's. Everyone loves everything that they do. And, of course, this focuses around Star Wars Battlefront 2. It's been everywhere. Everyone's talking about it. And there's been a lot of negative press for our favorite developer.
What negative press?
EA Sports. I just barely saw one. I mean, everyone else is really excited about the microtransactions.
I do want to say, though, it's kind of sad because the game's very fun. Like, the multiplayer.
From what I saw,
it actually is fun.
Yeah, good gameplay.
It's just, like, being marred by what pretty much everybody's just referring to as corporate greed.
Yes.
Which I think is pretty accurate. And you did your own interview. No, you didn't.
I did, yeah. I talked to some developers. Yeah.
No, you didn't. But in the news, there have been statements actually made by Disney now and Lucasfilm.
Yes.
So that's something we wanted to talk about a little bit.
Yes, and GameSpot came out with this, and a spokesperson for Disney and Lucasfilm came out and addressed the incredibly negative press coming towards not only Battlefront 2, but Star Wars. It's like hurting the brand a little bit. You know,
yeah.
It's never good to have negative PR. So they came out and said, Star Wars has always been about the fans, and whether it's Battlefront or any other Star Wars experience, they come first. That's why we support EA's decision to temporarily remove in-game payments to address fan concerns. So, even Disney and Lucasfilm are getting in on this negative press because it comes back to money and it comes back to PR, and you want your brand to stay solid. EA has been killing it financially this year, and their stock went down on day one.
Wasn't it almost 3%?
Yeah, it was 2.5%. It went down on day one, November 17th, 2.5%. Now they're up about 42% on the year in their stock, so they're doing well. They didn't feel that hit that much.
No, they're going to be fine.
They're going to be fine.
And that's the thing is, I believe EA still has this license until 2021.
And what does the license do exactly?
Well, they are the only people who can make Star Wars video games. It's either 2021 or 2023. I was pretty sure it was 2021, though.
Which is insane.
But it was like they're the only people who can make Star Wars video games, them or subsidiaries of their company, like that they license it out to. Like Visceral was owned by EA. So that was why they were being allowed to work on that single-player game, which, remember, got canceled.
Right.
Because Visceral's gone now.
Yeah.
So the issue here that I'm seeing, and it's an issue I've always seen with EA, is that like they almost never have to compete with anybody.
No.
So they kind of get to just do what they want.
That's a really good point.
Usually nobody does anything about it. So like, remember for quite a while NBA Live was gone?
Yes.
And 2K just did whatever it wanted. And even now that NBA Live is back, 2K still does whatever it wants.
Because they reign supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with, like, Madden. Nobody's been able to make football games for years except EA.
Hockey.
Like, for the NFL.
On a smaller scale,
yeah.
NHL.
Yeah.
I mean,
because there used to be 2K there, too.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was, wasn't it called, like, 2K?
It was 2K. Yeah, they had
until,
ESPN.
Like, when was it, 09? The last one?
I think it was 09 or 08. Same with even football. There was ESPN 2K5, which people still consider one of the best football games ever.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that where EA has been able to kind of do whatever they want for the longest time, and that's why they've been making so much money. That's why their stock price is up so high.
Because they get these exclusive deals.
And they have a monopoly
on... nobody can do anything about it.
No. And that's the problem, and I think that's why they tested this. The way that I saw Battlefront 2 was an experiment for the gaming market, and they basically tested how far can we push these microtransactions, because it's been obviously a problem. We've talked about it a lot on this channel, and like it's consistently coming up in a lot of games, mainly cosmetics, but you see it in EA games, specifically the sports games, that are pay to win in a lot of ways, where you open all these packs, get these players.
NBA's that way more every year.
Yes, exactly. And so EA...
You saw that stuff where you couldn't even buy a haircut for your player without...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting to the point where you can't play the game without microtransactions, and they're making it harder to grind for the players that don't want to spend money. And so EA took Battlefront 2 and said, let's see how far we can push this. We've got arguably our biggest brand in Star Wars. I mean, outside from FIFA's probably the biggest.
And Star Wars is arguably... I would honestly say the biggest fictional brand on the market.
It's massive. And so they took that name and they pushed their microtransactions, I think, honestly, as an experiment to see how far it could go.
Mm-hmm.
Because this game, when it first launched, in my opinion, was one of the biggest pay-to-win games that I've ever seen. And I didn't even buy it. I just saw you play, and we just kind of like looked for like an hour to see all the game modes, see everything. And based on what I've heard on the stats and how long it takes to unlock people, and this was day one before everything even happened.
Yeah.
But they launched a $60, $80, all these editions on day one. Here's our final product. And then they wanted to see what kind of reaction they would get. And there was negative press before this game even launched. But then this game launched.
There was also the stuff with, I don't know if you heard about this part, but one big shitstorm with this whole thing is that the review copies that they sent out, it was easier to unlock characters in them.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. This was something that came out earlier, where it was like they were making it easier for reviewers to unlock characters so that they wouldn't be so hard on that aspect of the game.
See, and that's what I'm really, really glad that this got the negative press that it did. Because this is bringing EA down a peg, and it needed that. Because, and not that I like EA, but I do enjoy playing NHL. I've enjoyed Madden at times, and I played the first Battlefront for like 40 hours. I enjoy the games that they make, and they do a good job on some games.
No, I still like the first Battlefront.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's not as good as the PS2 ones, or like the old PC ones, but it's good.
Right.
It's a beautiful game.
Oh, it's amazing.
And that's the problem, is that this game is very fun. I think in a couple days here, I was going to post like a video, because I've been playing it some with Nathan too, because I did buy the game. Because I didn't know much about the game before it came out.
Yeah.
I knew about these characters are in it, these maps are in it, and that's it. I kind of like didn't pay attention to the news about it.
Yeah.
So when it came out and it was that like affected by it, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know that was the case before buying it. And I would assume that a lot of people were that way, because like, how many people do you really think pay attention to like, oh, there's the private beta is going on and this is going on and that's going on? Not really. I would say a majority of the gaming market doesn't.
Yeah, I would agree for sure.
Because I'm very much into this stuff, and even I kind of like stayed away from the news for it, just because I was like, it'll be a surprise. It'll come out. I'm sure I'll like it. Like I don't really want to know everything about it. I've done the same thing with The Last Jedi, where it's like, I've seen some of the trailers, but like there's been a lot of like news that's come out about the movie, and a lot more trailers that have come out than I've watched, because I'm just like, I'll go into it mostly cold, whatever.
And you can form your own opinion about it.
Yeah, but then you get it, and it's like, holy shit, I feel like I just got taken for a ride.
Yeah.
Like, I was even looking today at stuff. It was like, some of the worst offenders for like this game are in Starfighter Assault, where it'll be like, hey, do you want it'll be like, do you want your guns to do more damage? Like, well, you can basically get up to 10% increased damage if you just keep buying these loot boxes and like getting higher tiers of that thing. It's just bad. I
mean, it's just they're clearly milking it for everything that they possibly can. And I mean, even you were showing me so if you don't want to play online and you just want to play offline and do like the bots mode, they cap you out at how many credits you can earn in a day.
It's only like, it's not much either. I think it's like 1,000.
And like,
because I did that last night. I reached the cap within an hour.
So like, why wouldn't you? If it's such a grind and it took you an hour to get 1,000 credits, say, and it's 15,000 to unlock Darth Vader, right?
Yeah, so which by the way, I did unlock Luke now,
which is sweet. But that would hypothetically take you 15 hours of gameplay. You're still grinding and working hard to unlock these characters. Why put a cap on there? Why make that even more difficult than it needs to be?
Because they want to keep the multiplayer numbers up, is what I would assume.
Well, I guess, but
well, yeah,
you know
no,
what I mean?
I do. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm sure that was the jerk off executive who made that decision.
Yeah,
reasoning.
So, I guess I'm just really happy that it got negative press, and I'm really glad that it got roasted.
I think the game is fun, and I'm very glad that it got negative press, because I'm tired of pay to win crap. Like, honestly, and you and I have said it too, and I think it's a slippery slope, is if you're going to have microtransactions, they should be cosmetic.
Agreed. Yeah.
I already think they shouldn't be there, because you're paying $60. Some people $80 to get this game.
Right.
And then you're charging people on top of that. I would rather pay for a season pass.
And get everything.
Yeah, because like the first game had its faults, right? But if you paid the $40 or whatever it was for the season pass, you got all of that content, and nobody was better off than you just by a crate system.
Right.
Because there wasn't a crate system.
No.
There was a way you could buy shortcuts to get like better star cards, but they didn't matter, and they were like a couple hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like jump ahead a few hours. And the reasoning was like, well, this is for the casual players who are like actual business executives who don't have the time to like grind out a game.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's bad reasoning, but whatever. Like, it didn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So people just ignored it because they didn't care. But like with this, it's like, it's not ignorable. And like, it's not worth it. Like, everybody, some people have tried to justify this by all the DLC is free. I'd rather pay for it.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay for the DLC. I'll give you $40. Just take this shit out.
Yeah. I'll get your gold Elite Trooper Deluxe Edition or whatever.
Yeah.
Get the entire game, and then put everyone on a level playing field. And then we all get the content. We all enjoy the game, and it's skill-based. What's wrong with that? Why is that asking too much? You know, and then if you have cosmetic loot boxes, fine, I guess, if you have to. If you have to put in loot boxes where I get a different skin for Luke Skywalker, and I pay $1, fine.
And I would have been fine with that.
Yeah, and that's not as big of a deal because it doesn't affect gameplay.
It's still stupid.
It's dumb.
But I would have been fine with it.
It's really dumb, and I get it. The games should be more expensive right now. They should be than $60 because of all that goes into them. But at the same time, like, a season pass, I feel a lot better about because I'm getting your entire product, and you're not nickel and diming me. You're like, okay, listen, here's all the DLC that we're going to add on top of this later on. If you want it, $40, and that's all of our products. That's everything that you're going to get. It's going to be a lot of content. If not, that's fine. You're still getting a ton of hours with this $60 game.
Yeah.
And then here's some cosmetic stuff for 50 cents, $1.50.
Here's the other thing I had to ask you about, because you told you shared the quote from the LucasArts and Disney thing, but wasn't there one more quote too? Because there was the one quote.
There was the one about Lucasfilm talking about, like, basically disapproving about what they did, and like basically
Can we look at that
covering
real
the
quick?
PR. Yeah.
So the other thing that we did want to mention about this that's interesting was about Jimmy Pitaro, the Disney executive.
Yes.
That allegedly called EA hours before this decision was made to backtrack on these microtransactions because they have been pulled temporarily from the game.
Yes. Yes, and it was basically that Pitaro, from what I'm getting from the GameSpot article,
And Wall Street Journal.
and Wall Street Journal originally reported it, was that Pitaro made a call to EA executives and said, listen, the higher-ups at Disney are not happy. Very dissatisfied with what you've done, and the rumor is that Pitaro and the Disney executives were heavily involved in removing the microtransactions because it was too much.
And EA's even said that they're trying to rework the progression system now.
Which is good. I mean, but
yeah,
it should have launched differently.
Yeah, and it's also a thing of too little too late.
Yes.
Like, I think the damage is done for a lot of people. And a lot of people did know more about this before the game came out. Like, we talked a little bit about it. We had a video about it where we were, like, concerned about the direction the game was going. But, like, I think we kind of both were in the state of mind that, like, well, you know, let's wait till the game comes out. There's no way it can be that bad.
Definitely.
And the game came out and it was that bad.
It was that bad, yeah. I don't think we expected it. I don't really think anyone expected it to be that bad because,
no.
People were, like, worried about it. There was a lot of talk about it.
But people are worried about everything all the time.
Right.
With, like, these games.
Exactly. And then when this actually got the attention that it did, to the point where now Disney and Lucasfilm are calling EA and saying, listen,
what are you
fix
doing?
this.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Like, that's bad.
Well, also, because they have a lot riding on Star Wars right now. We've got Rian Johnson, who directed The Last Jedi, right?
Yeah.
This is his first Star Wars film ever. And I don't know if you heard this. They gave him the reins to a new Star Wars trilogy
I did hear that, yeah.
To Johnson, specifically. Like, he's going to be the Abrams of this new trilogy.
For the entire trilogy. Wow.
For at least the foreseeable future of it. That's the news that's come out. So, like, if we have, like, a cascade failure here of EA mars the Star Wars brand and pisses all the fans off to the point where that affects the performance of, say, The Last Jedi, that would then reflect poorly on Johnson, which would then reflect poorly on the beginning of a new trilogy. You know what I'm saying? It's like a domino effect.
A big
and I think that's what they're
effect,
worried about, is that some fuck up at EA will basically mess up all these other facets of the Star Wars universe.
That's a good point, because I think a lot of people have a bitter taste in their mouth at just Star Wars right now, because, I mean, this game was supposed to be the massive content overload that we didn't get in 1, and it was a big disappointment, and now it's with the new movie coming out in less than a month now, that's not good PR.
Well, especially when the back of the box is going on about Last Jedi skins.
Ooh.
And name-dropping The Last Jedi by name. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're now tying The Last Jedi specifically by name to this product.
And people are literally boycotting this game.
And Rey being in here was Rey and Kylo Ren were like a big deal to a lot of people.
Right.
Like, oh wow, we get to play as Rey now. So...
concerning.
Yeah.
A lot of issues.
And personally, I don't think it'll, like, have a big negative effect on The Last Jedi. But I can see why executives might be worried about that.
Yeah.
Because, like, you have the fact that the second movie of Star Wars trilogies has always been, like, one, narrative turning point, and two, a performance turning point.
Definitely.
Like, with the prequels, there were issues of, like, 3 did well, but, like, from what I remember, Lucasfilm wanted it to do better, and they blamed a little bit of 3 not doing as well on 2. And so there's always been this idea by the people who hold the Star Wars brand that the second movie is really important to get right if you have a trilogy. And if you don't get it right, people are not going to come for the third movie. You know?
Which is interesting. I don't know if they're wrong.
I don't think they're wrong, because, like, I do think that if the prequel trilogy was strong the whole way through, you would have seen better performance out of it.
Agreed, yeah.
Because really, the prequel trilogy you could ignore except for Revenge of the Sith, which is pretty good.
Yeah. Well, you can look at other trilogies too, like The Dark Knight was the second one. Incredibly strong movie, one of the best superhero movies ever.
Spider-Man trilogy.
Yeah. And I mean, those...
And Spider-Man 3 had an amazing turnout because of Spider-Man 2.
Exactly. Same with Dark Knight. I mean, Dark Knight Rises killed it because Heath Ledger Joker in Dark Knight, yeah. So, I mean, they have a point. And this game, potentially... The fact that we're even talking about Star Wars Battlefront 2 impacting the Star Wars brand that much...
That's kind of bad.
That's really bad. Yeah. And EA has got some bandages they need to put on this quickly.
Yeah, I think so too. I think there's a lot of... they're going to need to make a lot of good faith moves on this.
Yes.
They're going to need to prove that when they bring back the loot box system, because I'm sure they will, that it doesn't affect gameplay in the same way. They're going to need to at least BS their way into making it look like they knew that they made a mistake.
Yep.
Because I don't think they actually care that they made a mistake, personally.
No.
I just doubt it, because, like, it's a business. It's there to make money. It's not there to make you happy. And despite what Disney says, Star Wars is about profit.
100%.
Like, it's not about making a bad movie or, like, a bad story. Like, it's not like they're trying to nickel and dime you. But, like, Star Wars would not exist without profit.
Agreed. Yeah.
So, like, you know, they can do all this PR speak, and that's well and good. But, like, EA's going to have to make people believe that they know they screwed up, even if they don't care that they did.
And who knows what that means?
Yeah,
I don't know if EA knows what that means, because they just took.
Well, I don't know what that means, because you're already giving away the content for free.
Right.
So, like, I don't know what good faith move that is, but it's going to need to be something.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember, like, the sales numbers for these games are not usually released now, you know, especially because of digital being so big.
Right.
But out of the people that I can only look at the people I know in real life, right? And the only people I know who bought this game are me and Nate.
Yeah.
Out of all our friends. So
that's telling. I mean, that tells you something, you
Yeah.
know, and we'll see what happens, I guess, in the
Yeah.
next few weeks. I would assume they're going to have to do something in the next few weeks, so we'll see what they come up with, because I'm sure Disney's on their back now. So we'll see what they do.
yeah, I'm sure we'll come back to it too. And, like, I do want to point out too that, like, I own this game, and for me now, playing it is just about having fun with, like, Nathan and anybody else who buys it, you know, like my friends. So I do want to say that by making videos with this game, I'm not endorsing their garbage decisions here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I am in full admittance that this is some BS. I'm pretty pissed off about it because I did spend money on this game without knowing the impact of it, and I'm very unhappy. But I'm not going to like shelf the game, you know, and never touch it because of that, because then I'm just punishing myself.
Yeah.
If I take the product that I bought and don't use it at all.
Especially if you enjoy it. At times.
So like I think it's a fun game to play with friends, but like as of right now I would not recommend people buy Battlefront 2 because of all this. So I don't know. I did think it was important to say that though, because I don't want to seem like a hypocrite and say like, oh, you know, this is garbage, and then be like, whoa, best game ever. Yeah. Because I definitely don't feel that way.
Yeah.
But it's just sad to see, because you know, DICE and EA are both better than this. Battlefield 1 really proved that.
Yeah, it did. It was a really good game. So yeah.
Well, anyway, guys, let us know what you think down below. This is kind of longer than we thought it would be, but interesting shiznicks. And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.